Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are decoding the psychology of crushes. We're going to take 17 distinct psychological facts from recent research and organize them into a structured, highly visual journey. We'll be tracing the whole path, right from the invisible chemistry sparking inside your brain, all the way out to those subtle, physical, behavioral signs of attraction that you probably don't even realize you're showing.
So, be honest with me right now. Are you currently crushing hard on someone? Maybe it's that neighbor down your street, a classmate, or even just a total stranger you saw on social media. You know, we really tend to romanticize this feeling, but I'm here to tell you that there is so much more to your crush than just getting butterflies when you hear their voice. There is some seriously heavy, hidden psychological machinery at work here.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the brain's crush chemistry.
You know those famous butterflies you get fluttering around in your stomach? Well, actually, scratch that. It's not magic at all. It's a completely straightforward stress response caused by a massive adrenaline rush. When you say you have butterflies, your body is quite literally telling you that you're stressed or anxious about how an interaction or a date is going to play out. Your fight-or-flight system is just quietly revving up in the background.
And here is where it gets kind of wild. Have you ever noticed we are often incredibly attracted to people we literally don't have a chance with? Why is that? Well, it's because it triggers what's called your default mode network. This is the exact part of your brain responsible for fantasy. It safely initiates this huge dopamine release at the mere thought of them. So crazy enough, sometimes you don't actually like the person, your brain is just totally hooked on the safe, dopamine-rich idea of being with them.
That brings us perfectly to section 2, psychological illusions and biases.
The first massive illusion we deal with is idealization. When you have a crush, your brain deliberately overlooks the person's flaws. It basically slaps rose-colored glasses on you, making them appear completely perfect. You start attributing these wonderful, amazing qualities to them that you admire, even if they don't actually possess those traits in real life. Your brain is focusing entirely on the positive feelings they evoke, completely blinding you to any negative aspects of their personality.
Then there's the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you definitely know the feeling. Once you learn your crush's name, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. Let's say your crush's name is Joy. Suddenly, you will begin to relate the word joy to absolutely anything and everything you see. This is a heightened subconscious bias. Your brain is hyper-tuned to look for patterns related to them, constantly pulling them to the very front fort of your mind.
So what happens if you just try to ignore it? Try to fight these illusions? Yeah, no way. You hit psychological resistance. If you pretend you don't miss them, your mind literally reacts against your efforts to suppress those thoughts. It's like a boomerang. The more you try not to think about them, the more you end up thinking about them. Your brain just completely rejects the act of pretending, and the suppression effort only intensifies your feelings. It's a total psychological trap.
To cope with all of this mental chaos, you probably catch yourself having full-blown imaginary conversations with them in your head. Come on, we all do it. Daydreaming these scenarios is completely natural, though. It's simply your brain's way of simulating social interactions to prepare for real life. You're just mentally rehearsing what you might say, which acts as a mechanism to process your feelings and hopefully make you feel a little more confident about future interactions.
Okay, moving on to section 3, behavioral signs of attraction. Let's look at how all this internal chemistry actually leaks out into the real world.
First up, listen closely to voice modulation. It's absolutely fascinating. Studies show men will instinctively lower their voices when talking to their crushes, often putting on this deeper, raspy morning voice as a subconscious show of masculinity and strength. And, on the flip side, women are naturally more attracted to men with those deep voices because, psychologically, it makes them feel safe, vulnerable, and assured. It is just a perfect behavioral match. Next, we have hair playing. If a girl is around her crush, you'll very often see this cinematic, almost involuntary gesture. It's a highly common, subconscious, self-soothing technique. But functionally, it's brilliant. It acts as a visual magnet, drawing the crush's attention directly to her.
And honestly, the biggest visual tell of the whole shebang is mimicry. If someone is crushing on you, they will subtly mirror your body language. If you cross your arms, they cross theirs. They might adopt your exact communication style or even match your facial expressions. We subconsciously try to physically align ourselves with whatever our crush approves of. It is an undeniable, powerful behavioral sign of attraction.
So what happens when reality sets in? That's section 4, crushes versus deeper love.
4 months. Just 4 months.
According to psychologists, that is exactly how long your typical crush usually lasts. Now, if your feelings persist beyond that 4-month window, well, what you are experiencing has likely transitioned. It's moving away from just a fleeting infatuation and developing into much deeper, more enduring love. I know. It might sound like a bit of a cliche, but this timeline has a very solid basis in psychological research. It genuinely takes time for that initial idealization to wear off and for a true connection to take root.
Actually moving from a crush to love requires leaving the safety of that fantasy behind. Having regular conversations with your crush actually improves your mental strength. By interacting, you are forced to build real confidence and social skills. You become vastly better at managing your emotions and expressing yourself, effectively breaking that cycle of just admiring them from afar.
But what if it goes the other way? That brings us to Section 5, the limerence trap.
If you find yourself constantly daydreaming to the point where it actively interrupts your daily life, you might be trapped in what psychologists call limerence. This is a stage of obsessive infatuation. Your brain's reward system becomes dangerously hypersensitive, closely associating thoughts of your crush with intense pleasure. Your mind just keeps dragging them back to the forefront, making these thoughts incredibly intrusive and practically impossible to turn off.
To put it in the exact words of psychologist Dorothy Tenevov, limerence is an involuntary obsessive craving for another person. Notice she uses the word craving. It shifts from being a fun, happy feeling into a literal compulsion. It's your mind's intense effort to force you to stop whatever you're doing right now and aggressively seek out your crush.
Which brings us to a tough but super necessary reality check. Your background, your personality, and your social setting all significantly influence who you are attracted to. However, research into romantic attraction shows these exact same factors mean there's a high likelihood your crush may simply not feel the same way about you. It is so vital to stay grounded in reality and recognize that unreciprocated feelings, rejection, is a completely normal part of human social dynamics.
Going through the extreme highs and the crushing lows of a crush is simply part of being human. Whether it fades away into nothing, blossoms into a true love story, or results in a really difficult rejection, it's always an opportunity to learn about yourself. So I'll leave you with this. Will you embrace the heartache to grow, or are you finally ready to step out of the fantasy and make your move? Thank you so much for joining me for this.